Good evening and salutations, my soap opera fans. So, as the title says, General Hospital's Willow's Villain Era. I am here for it, okay? I am so here for it. There's so many reasons, okay? The simple fact that years ago people sit there and say Willow was boring, Weeping Willow. Well, she ain't boring no more, and she's damn sure not Weeping Willow. So I'm here for it. I'm here to watch Willow strip Michael bone goddamn dry. Okay, I want this woman to literally strip him of everything that he has. I'm so here for it. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna sit there and talk all about this. Let's do roll call. Black Ma's in the chat. How you doing tonight? Amy's in the chat. How you doing tonight? Allison's in the chat. How you doing tonight? Michelle's in the chat. How you doing tonight? Sean is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Ron is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Sean says Sabra is the kid. Honestly, tell you too, Sean, I want to leave it on a cliffhanger. I want to leave it on a cliffhanger. So when I decide to do season two, I think the numbers is good enough to do a season two. And I want to take my time when I do season two. It's going to be good. Alice says, "Do you hate Mike?" No, I don't. I don't hate anybody. I don't hate anybody. Um, I don't do hate when it comes to us characters. No, I'm gonna find it fun. That's all. I want to see what Willow's gonna do next. It has nothing to do with me hating a character or anything like that. I just want to sit there and see what she's gonna do next. But I don't know, Sean. Listen, I mean, did you enjoy the series though, Sean? Did you enjoy the short series of Miami Vice? And here we go with 1,000 questions. Ron says, "What's your take on Vivian having the upper hand?" I mean, it's fine. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. Thank you, Sean. Seriously, I appreciate you watching. Annette says, "I don't blame Willow. My mama was like Nina when I divorced." Yeah, I listen. Like I said, I think it's gonna be super interesting. Um, Because here's the thing, Willow has been the good girl for so long, so long, right? So it's time that we sit there and see a different side about Willow. Most people do, Sean. I mean, I get that you're a GH fan, but there are a lot of people that do actually care about Days. Um, Film extras ought to admit that you hate that fictional person. It's just like hating the Easter Bunny. Nah, I want to sit there and see. I want to sit there and see Willow, take Michael for a ride. I want to see her literally take Michael for a ride. Seriously, that's what I'm here for. That's what I am here for. Um, maybe too much, but my goddamn music, guy. What's good, Crystal? How you doing? Listen, like I said, I'm enjoying. Honestly, tell you the truth, not really, Ron. I mean, he's doing something. I like the fact that Eli is actually doing something, so that's good. Yeah, that's correct, Sean. I don't know if you saw it or not, but yes, yeah, they did. Um, I like the fact that Eli is doing something other than just being back for the sake of being back. So I enjoy that. I enjoy that. Not super excited about Eli. I never really have been, but as long as they are, they had a short scene. They had a short scene, Sean. They showed him in bed, somewhat naked. So Um, yeah, no, they implied that they stopped together. Yeah, there we go. That's what I was looking for. Um, yeah. So yeah, they did the nasty whatever. Um, and honestly, tell you, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of fast forward through it, so I don't. People have sat there and said like it wasn't even really that long of a scene, but I don't know. I didn't fully see it. Um, and I'm probably gonna want to repeat myself a couple of times, so don't be upset with me. What's good, Double C? Um, it's still cool that I call you Double C, right? Because I know that you changed your name to. Well, I'm not gonna pronounce. I can't pronounce that, but it's cool. Actually, I still call you Double C, right? Because that's how I remember you. Um, but yeah, I'm probably gonna want to repeat myself. Anyway, um, listen, Jocelyn's mission was a success. Okay, like people were sitting there saying, "Oh, well, she's gonna get captured." Yes, Rika. Yes, that yeah, they're twins, fraternal twins. Jocelyn's mission was a success. People sat there and said, well, she was going to get kidnapped and this, that, and the third. And, you know, she should have hid in one of the rooms. She shouldn't have confronted him, da, 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 da. But she was actually fine. I mean, I didn't really care for her scenes today, but like, um, she actually made it out the mission and got some good intel. And what's good, Monique? Monique says, according to Caitlin, did Willow plan to frame Michael backfire on her? Hmm. Yeah, man, but I don't know why it changed. Yeah, okay. All right. Well, like I said, I still know yours double C, so I guess that, yeah. And, honestly, to tell you the truth, sometimes YouTube just does shit that just doesn't necessarily make sense. Like, they put on the captions when I'm sitting there watching a video, even though I turn off the captions, it will turn back on automatically. Double C says, do you think Willow end up like now dead or on the run? I hope not. Um, I like the actress, and I think that she's good on the show. Well, JH fan, it's funny too because like when I saw your comment, I was like, how am I? Like, what's the best response I could sit there and give you? Like what's the best response I could sit there and give you? But I'm gonna sit there and say this as a forewarning, right? Just remember it's a TV show. So what I say, don't flip out. Okay? Autumn. Willow Freeman Michael will not work out for her. Willow downfall is coming very soon. I hope not. GH, let me tell you something. I am here for this villain era of Willow. Okay. And like I said, when I first one second, Ron. Like I said, when I first start the intro, I'm here for Willow. I'm here for Willow destroying Michael to literally strip him of everything, bone dry. I'm here for it, right? Listen, I don't do the whole team bullshit. I'm just happy that Willow is actually interested. Okay, because for a while people kept sitting there saying, "Well, Willow was boring. She's weeping Willow. This, that, and the third. Da 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 da." So I'm personally here for this new villain era of Willow. Now I know how you feel about Willow and Michael, and that's your opinion, but that's my opinion. Um, oh, right, I have no idea. He's gonna look out for stepping into the stalker's court. Yeah, okay. I will sit there and say this much about Chase. Chase, for me, Chase that they're calling Jason out as far as his parenting skills go was asinine. Because I'm like, bro, you don't have kids. How are you going to sit there and start talking about his parenting style and you're not a parent. You're not a goddamn parent. Yes, exactly, Ryan. I'm here for the drama. I've always been here for the drama, the action, and all that stuff. Right? That's what I'm here for. You know? That I just and that's the thing, Sean. I remember when he sat there and said that. I was like, are you fucking serious? I was like, bro, yeah, that's the that's where I am with it. Um, oh, I don't see how much I have. Yeah, so that's what I'm here for, man. That's what I'm here for. I want to sit there and see what she's gonna do next. The problem with my whole thing is GH fan. The problem with Nell when Nell went up against Michael, she was very one note. Like I didn't like her constantly blaming Carly for everything. You know what I'm saying? I felt like it was just very like one note. Well, Willow, it's you know, I like this era. Kevin says it's going to be funny when she finds out that he did really shoot Drew though, and she like he's going to look like an idiot. Huh? I think that's how most people feel. JH fan. What's good, Charles? Exactly, double C. That's why I was like, yo, Broski is like literally so out of pocket. Yeah, okay, I have more than I thought. Hmm. But yeah, so let's see, we got that going. I want something new and different, Ron. What's good, Lisa? What's good, Queen? How you doing tonight? It's good to see the Queen of the South. I'm not gonna. Okay, and that's something else. Thank you, Mo. Thank you for bringing up Alexis. Right, Alexis has been pushed around for so long that you would sit there and forget that she's a Cassadine, right? Like she got pushed around by Ava and Rick and is stealing money from a baby. Now she's getting pushed around by Drew of holding Scout like hostage in a sense. And now she's getting pushed around by Willow. I'm like, what the actual fuck? And of course, Laura, isn't really, she's supposed to be Ace's guardian, but she's not looking out for his money. Like, are you fucking sick? well, Yeah, Ryan. I mean, what did you what did you think? What did you think? Like before like what was you thinking? Like what were you thinking? I mean, I'm glad that you feel better now, but what were you thinking I was saying before? I heard Born the Beautiful with Stephanie and Finn get divorced to think she goes back to Liam. I mean, I can see Born the Beautiful doing something stupid like that, but like, I would hope that they wouldn't decide to just like go backwards like that. Um, I agree, is pissing me off though. Oh no, geez, man, no. Like I said, I'm here for the drama. I'm here, like I said, I want Willow to fucking destroy Michael. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just interested in this new villain era for Willow. Because for a long time, which honestly tells you, and this is something else, I need Willow and Nina to stop sitting there calling Jacinda a prostitute where she's when she's an escort. There is a difference. Like I said, that's like saying dolphins and porpoises are the same, and they're not the same. Yeah, this isn't the 90s or the early 2000s. Alexis, that woman had fire and would rip anyone to shreds without screeching or being overly dramatic. You always felt like she was the smartest one in the room. Yes, yes, exactly, Max. This is exactly another reason why I love doing that Alexis night. Because we got to sit there and see where Alexis was a fucking great character instead of shell of a character that she used to be. Always try to suppress her cast inside when you're dealing with Willow. She needs to embrace that dark side. Yeah, she does. She needs to embrace that dark side with Drew. Take his ass to court. She's a fucking lawyer. She's a good ass lawyer. And she got Diane on her side. What are we doing at this point? WC says I need Natasha to come out of Alexa. She's a cast iron. Yeah. It's also I do love that scene. What's good on Lashonda? I like the okay. Here's another scene I like. I like the scene when Willow put both Christina and Jacinda on blast. I watched the scene of Alexis versus him. That's the Alexis that I'm missing. No, but I like the fact that she put both of them on notice. She was like, Jacinda, I want to thank you because you're with Michael. No, Charles, 1 second. Um, I like the scene where she put both of them on notice because she was like, Christina, I may have to sit there and reevaluate your time with Scout and with you, Jacinda. Well, you're a hooker and you have an extensive criminal record, and you're with Michael. That's going to make him look like an unfit parent by comparison. So thank you. Put both of those chicks on what you call it. I said Alexis had many different men in her life. Yeah, yeah, she had many different men in her life. Yes, and Jerry Jackson's one of them. Yes, yes, Charles. Um, so yeah, I like I said, I'm here for Willow. Okay. Hooker, escort, kind of the same thing. Both have sex for money. Only difference is you can't file, and on your you can file on your W-2 under occupation what your job is. Oh, I'm involving, and I mean they're similar, but they're not the same. Like they're very close together, but like they're not entirely the same. Like you grown, I'm grown. You know that there is a difference between the two. Um, like I'm not gonna get into it unless people really want me to, just to like understand the difference with them. Okay, well, I mean that's your opinion, Ron. I mean that's your opinion, Ryan. I wish it, it'd be nice if they start calling her a hooker because she's not a hooker, she's an escort. Why would I want Lee and Sheila getting together? Don't get me wrong, I like some girl on girl action, but like also how will Finn feel if both moms start messing around? What in the fuck? Okay, Ron, that is probably like the weirdest question, oddly, that you've ever asked me. Different tax bracket and clientele. That's the difference. Well, thank you, Kevin. Wow, that actually surprisingly made a lot of sense there. Well, I didn't see that coming. Well, Ryan, it's about what I enjoyed, right? Like you didn't enjoy that scene, and that's fine. I did enjoy that scene, right? So like you have to remember, Ryan, I'm not here to sit there and try to judge you on what you like and what you don't like, right? So maybe you shouldn't be so bothered by what I enjoy, right? What's good, Kaiwan? No, okay. With Deacon Hope, I mean, listen. At the end of the day, life is too goddamn short. Um, life. Here's the, and I'm glad that you actually brought that up with the whole Deacon and Taylor because it reminds me of Lulu and Nathan. It also reminds me of Leo, right? What's good, Susan? Life is too short to sit there and be denying about what you want. Yeah, I'm good. Susan, it's good to see you again. I feel like it's been so long. I feel like it's been so long. And I don't think I actually saw you last Sunday when we was doing our Teresa night on Passions. If Kelly can't put her safety for her and her family, she deserves karma. Why should Taylor have to sit there and live in hiding because of Sheila? Like, that is serious. I should tell you the truth, it's Steffi. Listen, the fact that Steffi's sitting there throwing out ultimatums and not understanding that, you know, people are going to resent you for giving ultimatums, like, that's fucking insane. No, it's good to see you, Susan. You wasn't here on Sunday, though, right? I could have swore that I talked to you on Sunday, but oh, that's sad to hear. Ron. Okay, you came towards the end. Okay, that's all I was wondering. I don't know. I mean, like I said, when it comes towards, I was like, I swear I remember talking to you. Okay, so I wasn't totally losing my mind. Okay, because I'm not gonna lie, I kind of was drinking towards. Well, throughout most of the streams. That's true. That's true. Okay, good, good, Susan. Yeah, I just want to make sure. Um, I forgot to open the damn window. See, that's again, that's my whole thing, though, Lashanta. So essentially, Taylor shouldn't bother to get together with Deacon because out of fear of Sheila. Like that's I and yes, you're right. Sheila is fucking crazy. Like this is gonna be one of those things where it's like you shouldn't have to live your life in fear because that's not really living at that point. It's not. Um, that's interesting. You and Ron are actually on the same page. That's interesting. What's good, Cherry? Huh. Yeah, I see what you're saying, Ron. You know, I'm not gonna lie. Part of me wants to be kind of a smartass to sit there and say that he would protect her by using Cobra Kai, but you know, again, I see. You know, here's the thing, Lashanta. I get what you're saying, and you're not wrong, right? I get what you're saying too, Ron. You're not wrong, but I'm not a You know, I guess maybe it's just me. Like, I'm not a person that likes people living in fear of what they might do, right? Yeah, Sheila did sit there and say, "Oh, well, I'll kill Taylor and this, that, and the third." Um, I just, I mean, it's it's kind of true. Like, yo, listen, we're not gonna be living in fear. Part of me, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Ryan. I kind of want to be somewhat of a smart ass, but like, I don't like the fact that Steffi is meant to give an ultimatum because you want to resent in that person later on. You do. You want to resent in that person. Um, saying, well, if you decide to be with this person, then I'm gonna cut you out of my life and I'm like his life. I'm like, okay, cool. They may submit to your demands, but they are going to resent the living fuck out of you for it. And just because Steffi married this spineless, cowardly, dickless man doesn't mean everybody in her life is just going to sit there and submit to her will. That kill shot was croquet, croquet style. What do you mean by what are you talking about, Sean? I might have missed a comment or whatever, but no, I don't think I actually missed anything. But Hope doesn't care nothing about Taylor. You know, I'm not gonna lie, LaShawn, but Hope was actually being fucking annoying. You know, if I ever talk to my mama like that, well, yeah, hell yes, and you know, again, that's just disrespectful as fuck. That scene where you shot the guy. Oh yeah. I had to sit there and think about that shit for a minute. He shot that dude right in the yo. That character shot him right in the face. I'm surprised he actually let me YouTube let me get away with that scene. Okay, because that was kind of a little kind of graphic. Realtor had something to say about it, and I mean Taylor's. Here's the thing: Rich doesn't control what Taylor does with her life. That's the thing. Like people don't have to sit there and people shouldn't be fearing what Ridge will have to sit there and say about it. Like who the fuck? Like in reality, who the fuck is Ridge? Be telling anybody what to do. I did like it, Sean. I did. I did. It was. I listen when I made the scene. I didn't think they were gonna let me get away with it because, like, I have a program. Well, there's a program that I use to sit there and do all those videos, and it will. I can sit there and type something innocent, and they'll sit there and be like, "Oh, it's too graphic. It's too violent. This, that, and the third." But like, let me get away with that shit. I'm like, okay, all right, I'll fucking use this shit. In case Dash Slam Jason was a joke, if I was it because thank you, Ryan, because it was out of pocket. It's like, bro, you don't have kids, and yet you're gonna sit there and tell somebody else, well, shouldn't you be sitting there being monitoring Danny's whereabouts more? I'm like, what the fuck are you? Like, seriously, who are you? Who are you to be sitting there commenting on anybody's parenting style? Sonny and that damn kick me dog. What's good, Ed? Sonny and that damn kick me dog. Um, which I'm just like, now we're using dog. I mean, like, it's funny because I'm like, now we're using dogs as props. I mean, listen, they did that with they did that with I'm gonna open up the goddamn window. Y'all tell me who this character is. My members, y'all know who this is. So this is for everybody else. Ooh, good one, Ryan. Kevin, Double C, and Allison. But okay, all right, good one, Allison. Well, like I said, Sean, I'm glad that you actually didn't enjoy that series because I want to like make the second season a lot better. One second, Ed. I want to make the second season a lot better. So, plus it was fun to sit there and like visit the '80s and like the clothing and the styles and everything like that. Um, that was fun. And like I said, Sean, you act again. I'm gonna sit there and give you your props, Sean, because you actually inspired me to do that series. It's hard. It's hard trying to keep up with four soaps. Watching Friday up to today and YNR 2 episodes behind and beyond the gates and haven't seen today's days yet. It is hard, Ed. Like it is. So at least you kind of understand um, a little bit about what I do, right? Yeah, no, Sean. So like I appreciate you, Sean. I just want you to know that. Seriously. But I'm kind of glad that you kind of understand a little bit of how difficult it is. Because like I do all five, right? I do all five, and and I do my reviews and videos. Thank you, Sean. Ed. My annoying moment is, and I'm gonna tell you in 1 second after I read Monique's comment. 1 second, Ron. Monique says, glad Victor is getting a slice of humble pie, but Phyllis and Kane, Victor won't last long. No one associates Newman with Phyllis. I'm glad you actually said that, Monique. because with Phyllis, me too, Susan, me too. But the thing is with Phyllis, and Phyllis like, oh, I want to change the name to ours or whatever. Kana's like, yo, listen, we didn't take this multi-million-dollar company just to sink it into the ground because of your ego. You know, like you said, the associate Newman with like trust and reliability and stuff like that. You going in and changing your name or whatever just to leave your mark. You're basically sitting there saying you want to piss on it like a damn dog to sit there and leave a mark on it. Like, girl, this isn't about your fucking ego. This is about fucking business. And this is the thing about Phyllis. Phyllis is her own worst enemy. Phyllis is her own worst goddamn enemy. Okay, she has a shot at $1 billion company, and you want to practically burn it into the fucking ground. When Kane is like, "Yo, listen, we want to run this company successful. We got to sit there and keep the name because that's the name that people associate with vendors and whoever else, board members and shit." What's good, Tracy? Honestly, tell you the truth, is he has to be because again, Phyllis is about her ego. That's the thing. She's about her damn ego. Lord. Happy Wednesday, Tracy. What's your thoughts on Lee and Sheila being best friends, and why don't you want them sleeping together? Ron, I'm not even going to answer that question. You know what, Ron? I'm gonna do you a better one. I'm actually gonna think about that question, and then I'll get back to you. Coca-Cola to King. Fucking thank you, Susan. Thank you. Yes. Monique says the same actor that played Alistair Crane is the same one that. Yes. Yes, he is. And he was the second. He was the second actor that played Alistair Crane. I don't remember the first actor that played Alistair Crane, but there was one before him, before he took over the role. Okay, Ed, let me tell you my one of my issues with Beyond the Gates. When Isaiah apologized to Eva, remember when Eva spazzed out on Isaiah and she was on her feelings and she was super insecure? Isaiah came to her and apologized to her. And I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Eva actually admitted, Eva, one second, JHP. Eva actually admitted that she fucked up. It was good, LaShawn. Um, Eva admitted that she messed up and she was like, she didn't know if Isaiah was going to sit there and even speak to her. Isaiah's dumbass comes up and starts apologizing to her. Yeah, they worked things out, but it just sat there and just once again it was like, let's just have the fucking men on this show be a bunch of spineless, dickless pushovers. Did you think that last week's episode, GH, were as boring as I did? The whole Blizzard storyline was a waste of time. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't think it was boring. I didn't think it was boring. Actually, there was a couple of things I did like about it. Like I like Jocelyn's ingenuity. Um, I like the scenes with Nathan and Lulu. Two truths and a lie is an actual world game, and I think that they're overthinking it personally. Oh, he's the third actor of Kane, really? So yeah, Ed, I didn't. Also, Isaiah being been trying to make her his girlfriend, and she ends up in arms about Cat. Annoying, but the address was killing it. Oh, the actress was killing it, and her back and forth. Yeah. Um, you know what it is. You know what it is, G's fan. Listen, The character has vexed me at times, right? And I have spoken about it. And then there's times where I can be impressed by her at the same time. I don't, and that's the thing, Jade fan. I'm not one way or the other, right? If they do something good, I will praise them for it. If they do something annoying, I will call them out for it. You know, that's how I am with every character on that show and every character on all five of the soap operas. So, oh, that's actually true, Kevin. Yes, that's right. Yeah. I mean, I kind of don't count him as the first actor, but like, you're right, Kevin. And it says Mariah kidnapped Dominic, Victor took Kane's family, Claire making her move on Audra, and Nick and Sharon are annoying. Yeah, we're going to get to that, yes. Um, I mean, for now, yeah, JH fan, for now. I mean, that's the thing, though. That's the thing, JH fan. Like, for now, yeah. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, JH fan. If she does something that I feel is out of pocket, I will be the first person to call her ass out. But for now, she did some good stuff. So I'm gonna give her, I'm gonna give her her praise. Okay, so that was kind of a lot, but you know, here's my thing with Audra. When Audra is actually open and honest and vulnerable about her past, it makes me like her. Like when she talked about how when she was little, she used to steal, she used to try to fit in with the rich girls and stuff like that. I love that. That was great. No, I didn't, Rock. Why am I even bothering? Um, one second, Ron. I like when she is like that was great. That was some great character development. And then she went right back to the whole, oh my god, I don't like Claire because she's like the other rich girls, and it's like, what are you talking about? Like you just you went from being like from you went from actually having a great character moment to you fucking it up. Mariah sounds like Britt with Dominic. Oh, you were in my stomach for 9 months. So according to Britt and Mariah, yeah, yeah, exactly, Monique. Yes. Um, that's a hard one, J fan. That's a hard one because it's not like there's characters I don't like. Um, I mean, right now I've been liking a lot of Willow, but I can't think of a character that I want to sit there and see more of. I don't know. Maybe in my mind I've been having a good balance of all the characters. Um, I mean, if I had to sit there and pick one, just off the top of my head, I would sit there and say Miss Wu. I would sit there and say Miss Wu. I would sit there and say Miss Wu. Well, like I said, GH fan, we did a throwback episode of Felicia and back in the days when she actually had storyline. She had character and stuff like that, and she wasn't just there just to be there. Problem with Claire is Claire grown up like her, but now is now part of a powerful family, and Claire mistake isn't thrown her back in her face. Yes, that's true. Right, It is. Okay, now Ed says Leo was being ridiculous bringing Dimitri to his room, not expecting him to make a move on him. Kristen also pissed me off, underwhelming, undermining Rachel's recovery because she believes being home is best. It is. Just didn't get around to it yet, Ron. That's all. I'm talking about a lot. So here's okay. So Ed, I'm actually glad you brought this up. My issue with Leo is that I feel like he's being a little bit too dramatic with Dimitri. Like he's being a little bit too upset with him. He's like, you come back in my life, you come back to town, you blow up my life. I'm like, he was kidnapped. Like you're acting like he's still, you know what I'm saying? Like you're acting like he intentionally did that shit. Dimitri, in a sense, is a fucking victim. And you're being all upset with him. And in reality, this is on you, Leo. Because you're not man enough to sit there and make a fucking decision. Yes, have a nice Sean. I will sit there and see you tomorrow. Well, no, actually, I will sit there and see you on Friday. Tomorrow I'm not streaming. Friday I am. So yeah, I'll sit there and see you on Friday. I had to think about that. You're not man enough to sit there and decide on what you want. You shouldn't be sitting there being so mad and like I get the fact that he is, you know, kind of being in your face about it and wanting you and trying to seduce you and everything. I understand a little bit of that anger, but like, bro, you acting like he still never like he never lost feelings for you. Yes, I'll sit there and see you on Friday, Sean. Um, but like, I really feel like he needs to sit there and bring his anger down quite a fucking bit. You know, you're upset with him when in reality you should sit there and be upset with yourself. Glad you brought that up, man, because I don't know if I got a chance to actually write that shit down. What's good, Allison? How you doing? What's good, Deluxe? Um, and Paulina also pissed me off today. Framing Dimitri. That's to tell you the truth, that's a very excellent point, Ed. And and this is my whole thing. The whole Leo and Dimitri, that whole thing kind of reminds me of Lulu and Nathan. They want each other, but they are so concerned and so wrapped up in what everybody else wants and how everybody else is going to sit there and feel. And I'm like, this is all kind of the same because, again, life is too goddamn short. Um, because life is too damn short. I cannot believe Vivian is 85 years old. And yeah, and she's definitely up there. And I'm not gonna lie, Susan. Now that you say that, it just makes me think, Susan. And I'm going with this, right? Oh, where the fuck is my food at? There it is. I've been just doing this whole shit without like having one goddamn bite of my food. But you know where I'm going with this, right, Susan? When you mention the age, like I said, Allison, I'm here for Willow's villainary. I'm so here for that. Really am. Exactly, yeah. Yeah, I am too. And like I said, listen, when this whole thing is said and done, this whole thing is said and done, I want Stephanie to fucking apologize. I want Jada to fucking apologize. I want Alex to fucking apologize. Okay? It's actually pretty interesting because, like, as much as I don't like Julie, I don't like Julie. Um, I'm here for it. Honestly, tell you the truth, Ryan. Well, listen, with pizza, I have to find a good pizza place. Um, and honestly, tell you the truth, noodles is just easy. Like noodles is easy. I feel like it's convenient. It's not as messy. You know. Lux says, can't they try to draw blood from Brett to try and figure out what's in her medication? I could have sworn GH had a Dr. Drake do it before. I mean, with the whole Nicholas thing? I mean, when Nicholas was poisoned by Jerry Jacks and he was living on that island? Are you talking about that? It's actually funny, Ed. It was good, Amber. I said the exact same thing. I said the exact same thing. Um, yeah, no, I agree with that. Trust me, Jade fan. I do sometimes think about the food choices that I have. I think it was I had something different twice. I had chocolate cake, which was messy. I could have swore I had something else. I don't know. Maybe it was pizza, but I'm pretty sure that was messy too. I had chicken, and that was messy. It gets on my fingers, and then it gets on the keyboard. It's just, it's just a whole mess. Wow, we just writing our whole essays now. Wow, and take his restaurant. Wow, okay, right, Ron. That's okay. Yeah, I'm a huge chocolate fan. Huge chocolate fan. I can't do it on you know, constantly wiping my face and having stuff. And I'm a messy eater, so it's just not a good idea for so many reasons. Um, so many reasons. But again, back to the whole Paulina thing. Paulina Smith, they come at Liam hard. I was like, Paulina, didn't you sit there and make Price Town one time? You're gonna sit there and fuck over the whole town. Remember that time that you came back from radiation and everything like that? You decided to rescue your daughter and essentially kind of give her somewhat kind of cancer, but yet she wants to sit there and judge Liam hard. Like honestly, to tell you the truth, I was like, Paulina, you really are a hypocritical POS. 1 second, Ron. I should tell you the truth, be between milk and white. Milk and white. Not a huge dark chocolate fan, but milk and white. I love white chocolate. I feel like that's a metaphor for other things, and I will accept that. But yes, what's your take on stuff you're telling? Selfish. Uh, you know, Ultimatums they tend to um lead to resentment. Yeah, I mean, listen, I love some pizza off screen. Yeah, just bringing Lex. Kevin says EJ gets bringing Lexi gets revenge on Paulina. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've heard that they rumors have said that they may try to bring Lexi back. That's true, Ed. That's true. Like I said, I get. Here's the thing. Like I get that Gwen is a person who has strong emotions, right? So when she loves with everything, right? So when she gets hurt, it cuts deeper than most, right? It cuts deeper than maybe other people. Oh, you actually okay? So you actually saw No. Right, here's I mean, oh no, okay. Wait, is that the movie that you're talking about, or the TV show? Are you talking about the movie or the TV show? 'Cause I know she is on the TV show, but I do remember that movie, the UFO movie. Was that the Keenan? Was that the um Jordan Peele or Keenan Peele? I just remember just not liking that movie for other reasons. Um, oh, okay. I wasn't a fan of that movie. I think that was a movie I was like, all right. I was like, all right, this movie. I was like, this movie isn't working for me, bro. Um, the first two, his movies was great. That one, but here's again, she is a person that cuts deep, or when she hurts deep. And here's the thing: throughout that time, we saw Dimitri struggle. We saw the fact that he felt guilty. How he even sat there and said, "Okay, cool. Listen, I get it. You wanted to, enjoy some of the money or whatever. That's cool. But like, you went overboard when you decided to kidnap me and take all my goddamn money." Hmm. I never actually looked at her like that as like. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, James, man. I will sit there and say that. Listen, as far as Kiki Palmer is concerned, that one, I made a video about it, but like, she had a bad look. Okay, like her husband got upset with her because she didn't like how she was dressing, and she had this scandalous video when she was dancing in a certain way on Usher's lap, dressed in a certain way. Like it was not a good look. Um, I guess they worked it out or whatever, but I just remember that shit. And I'm like, Allison says, Albert, do you think Nathan is really Nathan? He hasn't, as I told you, Allison, he has not shown any signs that he's not Nathan. He really hasn't. And I think that's where I'm so confused how people listen to this saying like, well, this guy is Nathan or he's up to something or whatever. I was like, I haven't seen Nathan really do anything that's like really jarring to sit there and say that he's not Nathan or he's not acting like himself or he's different or anything. But Ryan, you're talking about something. I mean, you're talking about reporting Taylor and everything like that. Like that sounds great as a fan theory, but like I don't feel like they're gonna go that direction. Well, I mean that's the thing. I, you may not, yeah, like you didn't hear about it. You might not have heard about it, but like there was a point where her husband used to have problems with the way that she dressed, right? Okay, whatever. But there was a video that went around where she was dancing in a very provocative way, while Usher was there singing to her. And when you watch the video, you're kind of just like, yeah, this is out of pocket. Like I don't agree with like I understand her husband being like, it's not like you dressing that way, but that's a conversation y'all should have in private. That's not something you should be posting on fucking Instagram or social media. But I didn't like the way that she was dressed, that she was dancing on his lap. Some people on YouTube and Facebook says he's not. Yeah, I mean, that's cool that they say that, but like they don't have a they don't have a They're saying it based off of, yeah, I'm like, I don't know what they're basing off of. Like, yeah, they say that, and that sounds, I feel like they don't have anything to actually base that off of. And I think that's my whole thing. Like, people have sat there and said, like, he was her baby daddy, her boyfriend. He was her baby daddy, her boyfriend, not her husband. But from what I understand, they were in a relationship, right? Like they were in a relationship. They weren't just like he wasn't just her baby daddy or yeah, they were in a relationship from what I understand. Okay, Ron, that's cool. That's where well, yeah, I mean, and I get that. I'm just not saying like um they were together, but husband is a different thing. Yeah, and I understand that. Like a husband is a different thing, but at the end of the day, if somebody doesn't, my point is that like he didn't like the way that she was dressed, right? Okay, whatever, fine. You have that conversation off screen. You don't have that. You don't put that on social media. The point is, they were in a relationship, okay, and the video showed her dancing in a very provocative way where it wouldn't make any man feel comfortable if they're in a relationship with somebody. Like you got to go and find the video and watch the video, and you'll be like, okay, you know what? I can see that being out of pocket. Here's my thing, Ed. We're not seeing it. This is my issue, Ed. They're talking about Jacob and his undercover thing. Okay, great. When are we gonna see it? See, my interest died with the whole Jacob and undercover thing. When I sat there and I realized they're not gonna fucking show it. I want them to sit there and show it. Ron, for a storyline purpose, it I don't understand how that would make sense. I don't understand how they're friends. Okay, let alone being in a relationship. Yeah, and I understand. I'm talking about like my issue with the whole Kiki my whole issue with Kiki was her way of dancing on Usher's lap in a very sexual, provocative way when you're dating somebody else. It was more about outfit than the dancing, but I mean, I'm going to be honest, Jade fan. Like the dancing, for me, I felt like was out of pocket. The controversy did suggest more about her outfit, and okay, whatever, fine. But like for me, it was the dancing that I felt was out of pocket for her. Alexis, I think it was the water pathogen storyline. I think Doctor Drake. Yes, no, no, you're absolutely no. I don't think it was. I think Deluxe. I specifically remember Jerry Jacks making Nicholas sick, but giving him the antidote, like periodically to keep him in line. And I think he wound up breaking up with Emily. He wound up hooking up or allegedly hooking up with Robin. And finally, you know, um, Patrick. Patrick was the one, either Patrick or whatever was the one that took the blood. So yeah, yeah, that was the story, Deluxe. It was Jerry Jacks poisoning Nicholas, and if he didn't take this antidote every couple of hours, he was going to die. So that's what that was. I mean, yes, but again, my issue. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna watch it, G fan. All right. I actually tell you the truth, it was a while, and I think my memory is correct, but it caused me pause to sit there and go back and rewatch it. Yes, that's my whole thing. No, that was after Allison. That was after. Like I said, it's making me not care because they're playing this stuff off screen. The whole Jacob thing. I mean, and yes, I'm obviously I'm glad to see them breaking it up where it's not always cancer, cancer all the time. Even though today it was once again about Anita and the cancer. Um, you know, this brings me to another. This brings me to another issue that I'm having now. Y'all know I'm not a huge fucking Chelsea fan. Okay, I don't. I think that she's very vapid. Well, that's the thing, Ed. Now she's not. So I watched it today, and I'm going to spoil it for you. Um, so I am sorry for that. No, no, listen. I mean, James, man, I agree with that. I agree with that. Like, bro, listen. You decide to date her. Now you're telling her what she can and can't wear. No, I have an issue with that too. So you're not alone with that. What was I Smith this? Okay, Chelsea. So Chelsea told Madison today that she doesn't think it's a good idea for her to sit there and leave. And Madison understood. But my whole thing is, um, I don't blame you, Ed. My whole thing is, girl, you known her for 6 months, and she's like, first of all, I had a problem with Madison not telling Chelsea that she signed up for this program. Because if everything was all getting great and stuff like that, she seemed like she was still keen on leaving and not even bothering to tell Chelsea that she signed up for this program and that she's going to be leaving for a year. So I already had a problem with what Madison did and not told her. Okay, fine, fuck it. Now, she tells her this and she's like, oh, you can go with me. And she's like, okay, fine, I'm going to do it. Girl, you gonna sit there and uproot your whole fucking life for a year and you known this chick for like what, 6 months? Like this is the type of vapid behavior that I expect from you. She did all that. And now today she's like, oh, I don't think it's a good idea. I'm just like, I just I can't with you. I just can't. Like I really can't. You're just a whole fucking headache. What are you saying, Ron? Ron, they have so much history, so much bad history. I don't understand how they're friends to begin with. This is what I'm saying, Ron. I don't understand how they're friends to begin with. But okay, fine. But now you're talking about they want to be in a relationship. Bro, you know damn well it's CBS and you're not going to sit there and show a gay couple on it. So I don't even understand, like, what part of that are you not getting? Yes, exactly. And that's another thing. Yeah, listen, their relationship is based off of lust and looks. Okay, because they are so opposite. They're so goddamn. Listen, I'm all up for opposites attracting to a certain point, but again, it goes back to the whole pill popping scene and Kelsey Smith is saying, I want to be my authentic self to her straight laced doctor girlfriend, to, oh, let's sit and get married, to, oh, let's sit there and go halfway around the world, even though I know you for 6 months. Why would you say that NBC and ABC have showed that? Why wouldn't CBS? Because, honestly, to tell you the truth, GH fan, CBS is a very conservative network. It's a very conservative network. What's good, Justin? Ugh, okay, you know, I'll tell you the truth. I'll tackle that later on. Because CBS is a very conservative network, and you know the shows have a history. Yeah, no, I know. That's what I'm telling you, GH man. It's a very conservative network, and throughout the course of their gay couples that they have actually had on there, they have not done them justice, and that's putting it mildly, right? So they, you know, the fact that they actually showed um two gay male couples on the show, they haven't did that in years. They haven't done that in years. And then they pretty much kind of just buried it. You know, the characters that they have on there, that they had on there, that they made gay, they kind of just buried it. So, um, and it's you know, they yeah, they just haven't. So you know, when Ron and Smith are talking about making a lesbian couple, it's like they didn't respect the lesbian couple that they have on their network now with Mariah and Tess. Um, they have fucked those two characters over so many times. Important storylines that they have shown off screen. Um, gave them very little screen time. Showing them just to sit there and be a prop or to sit there and say, "Oh well, we support the LGBT," when they don't. Gay couple CBS has gay couples for a show, then they use them and let them get a fan base, then they slowly start to fade them out or break them up. Yes. I literally could not have said it any better. Because that's the truth of the matter. That's the truth of the matter. That's literally what they have done with those characters. You know, there was a thing with CBS. Well, no, with Bold and the Beautiful. They start going international. They start going to Dubai. Well, if you understand what I'm saying, Ron, then why are you still asking me that question? Michael whooped Chase ass. That's 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 what happened. Okay, like I got a chance to sit there and see it. Michael whooped Chase ass. Slammed that man on that fucking table. I'm surprised that table actually still held up. I was like, God damn, Chase. God damn, bro. I was like, you know, Chase, I was rooting for you too, and you just oof. Um I don't know if it's for the actress. I think it's maybe it could be for the actress. I just know that, you know, like I said, I used to sit there and say this all the time. When I first started watching the show and seeing Mariah and Tess scenes and just I mean, you know, listen, their scenes were very cringe. I didn't really care for them when they were on, you know, but hey, okay, fine, whatever. But then I started sitting there seeing like their stories. Like when he had art, the birth happened off screen. Like things like that, where it's like a lot of the storylines happen off screen. Even though now they just decide to sit there and just make Mariah fucking crazy, stealing babies and shit. No, 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 no. Listen, that's actually very true. Listen, it's he he fucking won. Shit. Like he fucking won. Listen, here's my whole thing. Michael won the fight, right? I still understand where Chase is coming from. Maybe not with the whole, he obviously didn't win that fight, but like I understand where he is trying to see the best in Willow, and I understand where he is very loyal, right? Mm-hmm. No, obviously, though, Max. Yeah, and that's actually very true. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like I said to you, friend, I was disappointed, but hey, it is what it is. Yeah, I mean, here's my whole thing. As disappointed as I was with that, I am still no, Ryan, I don't. And I don't think well for me personally, this is my opinion, I don't think that Chase is an idiot. I get it. And I'm not gonna really get into why you think that, but like I said, I understand where Chase is coming from. I understand where Chase is coming from. Um, I think if it was another network, I think it'd be interesting to sit there and see his surprise. More in the fact that like, when did his mother actually like women? Or when did Sheila like women? I think that'd be kind of interesting to explore a little bit. Like what the hell? Like where did that come from? I mean it's 2026, so I'm pretty sure he's not gonna be homophobic. Why does Chase owe Michael an apology? And just because you're family, that doesn't mean that you necessarily agree with everything that somebody does because they're family. Um, let's not go there. But yeah, listen, like I said, this is my whole thing, and I'm not gonna sit there and keep harping on this. I respect the fact that he is standing up for his principles. He believes that Willow isn't innocent. He believes that Willow is innocent. That Willow wouldn't do it. He feels that of course, whatever the cops, they rush judgment, and he's standing by his friend. Now, is Chase wrong? Yes, but he still believes that. I understand that part. I understand loyalty towards your friends. Domex says BNP had that period with Brooke and that Chris Nally version of Taylor had that weird romantic tension and never capitalized it. After that, it was clear they were going to do. I'm not going to lie, Domex. See, this is my whole thing. And I remember when I used to sit there and do reviews on that. I was like, yo, I wanted Brooke and Taylor to fucking be together. I wanted that shit so fucking badly. And I remember me doing that stream and people, leaving. I remember I did that stream and people at the bottom had so much issues. They were like, no, that can't happen. That would be weird. That would be nasty. Da 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 da. I was like, man, I must have really sat there and fucked up people's weekends that day. What's good, Jonathan? Oh, well, that's interesting. That's an interesting take. What's good, Jonathan? How you doing? I don't either. I don't either. No, Maxwell, a lot of folks are picking up on the Taylor Brook ride. They really had us thinking they were about to leave Ridge for each other. Would have, oh my, I would have fucking loved that shit. I would have loved that shit. I was like, you know what? I'm here for that. And I'm not gonna lie. I think they kind of also purposely did it just to get the fans all like, all up in the tizzy or whatever. So I was here for it. I mean, I know they were not gonna do it, but like they kept sitting there doing those subtle. I remember that one episode. They must have hugged like 3 times in that one fucking scene. I'm just like, they should really go there, right? I was like, they should really go there. I don't remember saying that. I don't remember saying that. Ryan. I'm gonna be honest, I don't. But I watch 5 soap operas, and I'm constantly talking about five. So maybe. I'm not gonna lie, Domex. It would have been hilarious. You know what? All right, fuck it. I'll sit there and say it here, and then I'll probably sit there and say it on Friday. So for my members, since Sunday is going to be Super Bowl day, most people are going to be watching the Super Bowl, whatever. I'm going to not do the stream on Sunday. The Teresa night on Sunday, I'll do it next Sunday. Um, the Saturday stream is still going to be a go. I have a very interesting character we're going to sit there and take a look at. But since Sunday is going to be Super Bowl day or whatever, and people, you know, most people are going to be watching the Super Bowl, I'm like, fuck it, let's just push the Teresa night to the following Sunday. I think that just makes the most sense. Um, I don't really get why you're so hyped up about it, Ryan. But um, you're actually kind of like cool level headed before. Let's not start get back up into that whole like you know fan tizzy thing or whatever. I like the mellow version of you. This one is not really. Yeah. Um. Yeah. I wonder what she's taking the key for. I wonder what she's taking the key for. Um. But again, Michael had to be humbled yesterday, I think, and Willow had to be humbled today. Willow really thought she was like, you know what, listen, I have the advantage. And Lexus, her own lawyer was like, no, you don't. You're married to Drew. Right now, he got a lot of accusations that's not going to work towards your favor. right? Like you might want to kind of think about compromising. They did the whole mediation thing. Interesting. Both GH and Days of Our Lives also, they did mediation. Oh, I don't know. I don't. Okay, all right. I don't know why I thought she took a key off of Michael's keychain. Okay, all right, oh, that's interesting. Oh shit, that's that's some diabolical shit. Okay, all right, I'll make sure I try to address that tomorrow. I try to make sure I address that tomorrow. That's interesting. Wow, that chick is fucking diabolical. Holy shit. See, like I said, I am enjoying this fucking um villain era. But um before everything gets lost in translations, for the members, y'all did get that right. As far as us not doing the Teresa night this Sunday because of Super Bowl, so we'll do it the following Sunday. I'll say it again on Friday, but I just want y'all to know now. I'm not gonna lie, that night, oh my goodness. Oh, I am. And let me tell you something. I am loving it. I am. Listen, Nicole looks better than most. Nicole looks better than every woman on GH. She will look better than any woman on GH on a bad day. Oh, when the truth comes out, then yeah, absolutely, GH man. Yeah, absolutely, yes. Yeah, yeah. Let's answer that question. Yeah, sure. Um, no, Ed, well, it's actually really funny, and it was Dolomitics that actually kind of straightened out something. That at least she's being honest to like, well, yeah, sure. Cat was getting on my goddamn nerves. Anita wasn't really as bad, but Cat was getting on my damn nerves though. Cat has this thing where it's like she is the center of the universe, and things need to be the way they are according to her and what makes her okay. Like, oh, well, she's the reliable one. She's this. That's how she is, and that's how I want her to stay because that's what I want. And that shit was just annoying, right? Like I've said this before in the fucking stream, and I'll sit there and say this again. This whole um Leslie calling Vanessa Barbie, that's getting on my fucking nerves. But to be fair, damn near almost everything that Leslie does gets on my damn nerves. Well, it's cool, Ryan. I just like I said, I don't need you getting all like I said, I enjoyed the mellow version of you. When you start getting to that whole like um over hyper fan thing, that's where it's like, okay. It was like I start to give you a chance to kind of calm that shit down before I decide to step in. Um, I don't know, be upset. Okay. When Gabby came into the room and Philip closed the laptop, and then Philip was like, "Okay, yeah, it's for a trip I'm planning and stuff like that." I was like, "Bro, it would have been much more better if you would have sat there and said he was looking at porn." Like, I think, what I'm saying, like, just to sit there and not tell Gabby that his plans was to take her somewhere tropical, whatever, and she kept like, "Well, what are you looking for? Like, well, why'd you close the laptop for?" I get it. I get it, Ryan. I'm just not there saying I like the mellow version of you. Like, you know, I already had to deal with one person that was like this overzealous fan that would get a little bit too much. I had to shut that shit down eventually. Uh, but I'm like, bro, you could have told her anything. I mean, honestly, tell you the truth, this whole Gabby and Philip relationship is on borrowed time anyway, right? Just like Cody and Molly's relationship is on borrowed time. Because eventually that shit's gonna come out. I'm also starting to get kind of fucking annoyed. Well, you know what I've been getting annoyed with? I'll keep that in mind, Ryan. Um, what is Ashley's mom's name? Because honestly, to tell you the truth, these conversations with Ashley's nagging mother about her dating life and Jan, thank you, Doug Max. Or Janet? Okay. I think it's Jan. They start to get on my fucking nerves after a while. You know? I get what they're supposed to be. I got you, Ryan. I got you. I just, like I said, I prefer the more mellow, chill version. They start to get annoying after a while. It's like, girl, how about you calm down? Like, your daughter's dating. Like, relax. I'm like, honestly, to tell you the truth, I think if it was up to Jen, she would still want Ashley to be dating Derek. Like, like she does a little bit too fucking much sometimes. Oh, well, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Ashley and Shanice's conversation today was just like no fucking point. Like how even Jocelyn's comments, even Jocelyn's scenes today was just no fucking point. The only reason why I actually like Jocelyn in today's episode was kind of to shut most people out. Since most people are still just like, oh my god, Johnson's such a bad is such a bad agent, and like, oh my god, like seriously, like it just gets so damn annoying after a while. And I'm not a huge Jocelyn fan, but um, I would hope not. I would hope not. Um, the fact that they're doing it on GH is still fucking wild to me. I agree. I agree, Ed, because yeah, those scenes just make him to be more of a fucking loser, more of just like annoying. You know, I'm not gonna lie. There was a conversation that Shanice was having with Derek, where Derek was sitting there saying, he couldn't be a firefighter anymore. He was really broken up about it, and Shanice was like, "Well, let me find the smallest violin." I was like, "Hey, damn, girl, that's I." Here's the thing. I understand tough love. But imagine if Shanice was told that she couldn't be a nurse for whatever odd reason, and somebody sat there and said that shit to her. Like, I get the fact that Shanice is like, listen, you have other qualities, you have other applications and stuff like that. Allison, don't even bother to sit and try to understand what he's saying, because like, yeah. Um, I understand that Derek has other applications or whatever, and he's not paralyzed, and he should sit there and look on the bright side. But I'm like, damn, girl, you might want to like calm the fuck down a little bit. I do need him to move on. I need him to move on because like my patience just isn't there with Derek at this point. Like I'm being fucking 100% honest. Like it's like every time I sit there and see him, I'm just like, bro, uh, every time I see him, I start to roll my eyes because I know he's going to sit there and do something fucking stupid. Um, like I said, I need Beyond the Gates, if they're going to sit there and do this whole investigation story about this underground blood ring or whatever, they need to start showing this shit because telling it ain't doing a damn thing. You know, I don't understand how in 2026 they expect people to sit there and use their imaginations to such a degree where it's like, oh, well, we have to just assume that this beating was really bad. No, I want to fucking see this ass whooping that this guy got that scared the bejesus out of this truck driver. Fucking tell me about it. Like, what is that gonna do? Well, I mean, to be fair, and most of the men in the show is on some level proven to be kind of an idiot because they come across as pushovers. You know, it's unfortunate. And, you know, the sad thing is that like, I listen, Chad, just for people who are watching this later on who think I have nothing nice to say about Beyond the Gates. I'll say it again. I enjoy some of the realistic conversations that they do have on Beyond the Gates. Okay, some of them do feel very authentic conversations that I would have with my friends. Some of the bad shit that they have on this show, really, they need to show it, Jonathan. That's what it comes down to. They need to show this shit. You know, it's either that GH fan. I mean, it's. I have sat there and said that it's one or two things. Either they did this on purpose to cause a stir among the fans to make them talk or whatever, right? Because listen, people talk, people sit there and share chats and stuff like that. Um, it causes a buzz, it causes a stir, whatever. So they want to get people talking, or they want to sit there and act like we don't know that they're cousins, or maybe they plan on fucking like or maybe they act like we don't know. Maybe they act like we don't know that they're cousins. Remember, GH fan, they sat there and act like the Curtis and Brick scene, like they didn't know each other, like they didn't work together prior before when when Brick and Curtis saw each other. They act like they were brand new. Well, he's still going to be out. He's still going to be in Genoa City for a while because of the whole um um Mariah thing. So Leslie Toon cartoon shorts, yeah. What the fuck? Hold on. Jay's fan fourth cousins though. They're a bit different. Prince Kate and Prince William are 18th cousins or something. Oh, I gotta look this shit up. Hold on. I was like, wait, hold on. I'm gonna look this shit up later on. What the fuck? Jay's fan, I'm gonna look that shit up tonight. Holy shit. We gonna talk about that shit next time. Like, I don't even listen. I don't even normally do the whole rules things. Yeah, I know, but I'm saying like I don't even know if it's and talk about the Royals or whatever, but like, yo, that's some scandalous shit right there. That's true. That's very true, Ed. That's true, Allison. Ron says, Albert, you and the others in the chat have false memories. Didn't Sheila kiss Luna? Well, yes, and well, I don't know about that first part of the sentence, but yeah, I mean, I remember that. I think they kind of passed that off as some sort of weird greeting or some shit into the family. But I still do remember that though. I will sit there and say Ivory has got on my fucking nerves. Listen, Ivory has been getting on my nerves, but like she's really up there. I mean, I get that, but like Jonathan said, like it's still bad. But I'm gonna look that up. Domex says Sheila kissed her own daughter once. Oh, Sheila! Oh my god! You serious? Oh look. Okay, I gotta find that clip. I mean, clearly there's love at first sight or whatever. Um, and I think we probably sat there and said this over the weekend, or I think you said that over the weekend. As far as like, well, listen, if Dylan is with RJ, then Ivory won't really have much to sit there and bitch about, which will be good because honestly, to tell you the truth, Ivory needs to fucking do something other than hover over her damn niece. Well, I mean, it's yes, and I get that, but it's still gross. Like it's still gross. You know, it's still. I mean, here's my whole thing, Ryan. Let me ask you a question. What do you think about that? What do you think about Danny and Charlotte kissing? Are you okay with that? I want to know your thoughts. Oh, I like I said, Thomas, I gotta find that shit. Says, yeah, well, yeah, Jonathan. Like I said, they need to do something with Ivy. Pair him with fucking Wyatt or bring in a new person. Like she needs a. My point is that she needs somebody. I don't care who it is. I mean, she needs somebody. So Wyatt or they fucking create a new character. Sure. Um, or bring in another act. I don't. Honestly, to tell you the truth, they need. She needs somebody. She needs somebody to sit there and focus on other than her niece and telling her niece what to do and her niece should be sitting there spending so much time with RJ and it's not proper and like I have so many issues with that. I can go on and on and on. But yeah, this is I think AJ going to bring back Abby because that would be the only way I can see him not going to prison because Abby's body was never found. Well, how is he going to? Well, how is he going to go to prison? Chiefs fans, I think it's a bit odd, but it wouldn't be worse. But I think it'd be much worse if they were first or second cousins. Plus, they didn't grow up together, so I don't even know if they consider each other family. Okay. Mm-hmm. I mean, we talked about this just this weekend. And that's something that I might have said in the beginning of the stream. Um, I feel like I have more things to say about these Willows. Oh yeah, I did sit there and say Pauline was a hypocrite. Oh, fuck that. This is what I gotta sit there and say. I'll read people's comments in a second. This is what I gotta sit there and say. Fucking Theo. He said something this week that I had an issue with. He was talking about Stefano. He was talking about how Stefano didn't treat him any different because he was, as he put it, neurodivergent. Theo, you sound like a pretentious prick. That's just number one. Number two, why is he treating the word autism or saying that he's autistic like it's some sort of dirty word? It's like he had to go out his way to sit there and say, this is the second time that he said that he's neurodivergent. You know? This is what we're this is what we're gonna have to sit there and deal with Theo. This is what we're gonna have to deal with Theo. Is Hemsmith is saying every time he's neurodivergent as though the word autism is some sort of dirty word or something. And I'm not gonna lie, it hurt me a little bit. I'm just like, are we fucking serious now? Like, I you know, Days of Our Lives fans, I want to know what y'all thought about that. You know, like I said, Ed, it's like, you know, yeah, he loved all his family and everything like that, but it's like he didn't treat him differently because he had autism. Like, why is that such a hard word to sit there and say? But this is where we are. Johnson said, I don't think it was a big deal. Okay. Domax says he calls himself autistic in the past. Lots of people say neurodivergent is just another word for it. As said, also nobody ever treated Theo differently, so this poor me thing needs to stop. It's like some people saying black and some people saying African American. Hmm. I get that part. Susan says I never heard that term, and I'm a retired nurse. Okay? Is Drew leaving the show, or is he shooting a movie? Not really, G fam. I've never been like a fan of like medieval stuff. Yeah, I've never been a fan of medieval stuff. I don't see him leaving the show. I don't. See, I can see him taking a break, maybe doing a movie or just generally taking a break. But um, okay, I don't know. Like I said, maybe it was just me. I'm not exactly a fan of the word. Um, yeah, I'm not a fan of the word, and I feel like it's just this little bit of a way of being fucking pretentious, and also using trying to make the word used tons lately. It's more like the modern day way of calling it is may just be a new term for you. It might be. It might be. I just I don't. I'm not like I'm not a fan of it. I find it to be just a pretentious way of something they're saying autism, and also you know trying to replace it is almost like coming across as saying like that's a dirty word. But I do get the whole instead of saying that you're black, you're saying that you are African American. I get that. And Tracy says, I actually like Willow having a dark side because before she was, yeah, she was just boring. She was just fucking boring. Um, let's be nice, GH fan. Um, let's not press other people because let's be nice. Seriously, Terry, she was just boring. She used to be called Weeping Willow all the time. And when she wasn't that, hell, even I called her boring. I used to call her and Michael boring all the goddamn time. And now Michael and Willow have front burner storylines, which is fucking great. You know, Mr. Point J fan. Um, yeah, you really missed the point. But my whole thing is that like she used to be boring and now she's not boring anymore. It's funny, Ed. Somebody else said that too. It was Dion or GH fan. No, it was Dion. Um, or GH after show. That was like Michael versus Willow. Yeah. Have a good night, GH fan. Um, but yeah, they used to be boring. Both of their asses used to be boring, and now they actually give them something to. Now they actually give them something to do. So it's fucking it's great. It's great. It's absolutely great. I love what I do. Even when I gotta sit there and be peacekeeper on a fictional show. But this is what I decided to do. We didn't really get a chance to talk about Anna, but like Anna is coming across as erratic. Tracy says, I think when Drew wakes up, there may be a custody issue. When says when Drew wakes up, when Drew wakes up, there's going to be hell to pay. Okay, because now he's seeing Willow for who she is. Um, Especially when she finds out. Listen, this shit can quickly turn into a lifetime movie at this point. This can quickly turn into a lifetime movie. Drew being the powerful congressman. And like I said, I laid out this scenario because I don't do this shit much often. But I laid out this scenario where Willow's in trouble and Mike will have to sit there and help her out. How to see Drew handle Willow. Johnson says I heard Michael will catch on to Willow's scheme before her plan follows through. Like I said, I feel that like there's a scenario where he wakes up, he realizes that Willow shot him, Willow drugged him, and he obviously saw that, and he makes life hell for Willow, and Willow has to reach out to Michael, and Michael agrees to help her, not because he loves her or anything, but because mother of his kids and everything like that, right? Um, I can see it. I can also see how stupid it would be. Um, but yeah, Anna came across as a completely, utterly erratic, and even the things where she was making sense, the chick looked like she'd been sleep deprived. Okay, she looked like she has not been sleeping in days and everything like that. Okay, Ed, you have a great night. I should probably sit there and take my ass to bed too. Johnson says, "What would Drew do to Willow?" It's a good question. I have to sit there and come up with some details. I just know that he would make her life a living hell. I don't have the details on how, but he would make her life a living hell. You know what? Fuck it. Where is it? Oh, okay. I'm not ignoring anyone, I promise. Fucking sorry.
Give it a big one this time. All right, here goes nothing. That crane's flexing a lot. She's good. Keep swinging. Hey, oh no! The whole thing. Hold on. Oh the ship's tipping. Off the rail. Back up. That was. All right, here goes nothing. That crane's flexing a lot. She's good. Keep swinging. Oh, hold on. Off the rail.
There you go. Yeah, I know, Alice. I'm probably try to catch you while I'm like laying down. What the heck was it? It was somebody's attempt at comedy, but it was still funny. It was still funny. And there's more too, but I'll show you that stuff on Friday. I'll probably replay those scenes for the people that didn't watch it tonight. Sure, Cherry. Tracy says, "What if Drew still wants to be with her even after everything he pretends?" Here's the thing. I I wouldn't be too surprised, Tracy. I wouldn't be too surprised, Tracy. Okay? And women do this shit too. Some men have this inability to let go of a woman, even on the most extreme cases. Even on the most extreme cases, he would still sit there and hold on. A man would hold on to a woman. Even the whole shooting thing, he would still sit there and do it. Because some men, when you find a woman, they go fucking nuts. Fuck. Um, how many people here actually watch Beyond the Gates? I probably want to saying this shit Friday. Yeah, exactly. But how many people here actually watch Beyond the Gates? I probably want to save this for Friday. Okay. I'll sit there and say this now, and I'll sit there and say this on Friday. So when I say this on Friday, don't be, upset. So Danny talks today. She tells, what the hell is his name? She tells Andre about the kiss. Thank you. Okay, cool. She tells Andre about the kiss and everything, right? And then she goes into her whole, Bill broke her down. Bill made her feel worthless. Bill was constantly cheating on her. There was times she was going to sit there and leave. from the beginning, we have sat there and been on Danny's side, right? You know, Bill's a piece of shit. We all get that. But here's my thing. And normally I don't do the whole victim blaming thing or whatever, but here's my whole thing though, right? Bill's a piece of shit for what he did to Danny. Danny, at some point, you were you was an instrument in your own unhappiness. You could have left at any point in time. You chose to stay. You didn't just choose to stay. You chose, yes, and thank you, Jonathan. I'm gonna sit there and say it before we end this tonight too. Yes, thank you. Remind me about that. Um, you chose to stay, but nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about the fact that Danny chose to stay. You chose to sit there and be constantly being hurt by this man. Why? This isn't this isn't the 1940s or whatever, where it's like you had to stay by your man. If you didn't stay by your man, it was considered taboo or whatever. Why did Yes, Bill's a piece of shit. We can all agree on that. Why did you not choose to sit there and leave at any point in time? Hell, Bill wound up punishing you because you chose to sit there and stay with him and make excuses. Nobody talks about that. Yeah, and that's the thing. I had to sit there and set my DVR, the channel, well, that channel, um, because it's not coming on channel 2. So yes. Dominic says not the pylon, but she was the one with the power, really. She had the family name and the money and the fame and the clout. Yet she chose to stay. She chose to, and I hasten at this, but she chose to continue to be a victim towards, towards her own detriment. The reason I'm sitting there bringing this up also is because, I've seen, Ranta Ricardo, a lot of her streams and stuff like that, and she's usually talking about these situations with Danny and everything. Um, and I'm like, so none of y'all gonna sit there and admit that like she was the cause of her own destruction in a sense. Listen, here's the thing, I'm not a person that sits there and likes the victim. But at some point you have to start taking accountability for your actions or your inactions. And like Dolomitic said, she had the powers, she had the family name, Dupree, we can play a fucking drinking game about how many times they sit there and talk about the name Dupree. Not to defend her on the other side of the coin. I see how she kind of messed up. I thought about it in a weird way. I think she was trying to mimic her mom and dad's marriage. Yeah, I mean, yes. And, listen, people have, what this comes down to is a situation by situation case. Right? Danny's reason for staying with him is not going to be the same reason for somebody else staying with a man. They could be staying for the children, they could be staying for the money or support or whatever. Each case is different, and I get that. So this is not a blanket of, all situations. I'm talking about her situation in particular. I've seen people sit there and say, I root for Danny and this, that, and the third. I'm like, yeah, I do too, to a point. But it made me think about this today. And the reason why it made me think about this today, because she told Andre about the kiss. But then she did this whole manipulation thing where it's like, I was with Bill and he treated me like ish and I still stayed with him, and she did this whole violent act to sit there and make him not be so upset. Because he was kind of pissed. And any person would be. You sat there and said that you kissed your ex as a goodbye kiss. Are you out of your fucking mind? But wait, this is where I'm the victim. This is where you're supposed to feel bad for me because, I was with this guy. He treated me like this. He treated me like that. Oh, you're right. Wow. That was a really great way of simply manipulating him, making yourself come across as the victim in this whole thing and not having me upset that you kissed Bill. That was fucking great. Like if you think about it, you got a creative artist motto with a professional, respectable man lawyer. The two daughters, Bill and Danny, were kind of copies of Verna and Nita in a way, but just toxic. Yeah, and I can see that. I can see all sorts of reasons of why she would choose to stay, with that being the most prominent. But she also was the catalyst of her own unhappiness. You know, and that's something that I feel like is not talked about enough. For the people that do talk about Beyond the Gates, they don't bother to talk about that because they're too busy sitting there saying, poor Danny this, poor Danny that. Surface level stuff. We can all sit there and see that. That people have. She started crying after she told Andre about the kiss bill. Yeah, exactly. Like, yo, listen, she sat there and played that card. And it worked. It fucking worked. Okay. All right. Since I do got to be up at 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm gonna end the stream here. But again, and I'll sit there and say this on Friday. Sunday stream is going to be moved to next Sunday because of the Super Bowl. Saturday stream is still going to be going, and I'll be back on Friday. Friday will be the next regular stream. There's no point putting that back in. All right. So yes, with that being said, yeah, no, of course, Jonathan. Yeah, it just made the most sense. So yeah, we definitely gonna do part two to erase it up. Yes, have a good night, Jonathan. Have a good night, Blackmon. Have a good night, Susan. Thank you for coming through. Have a good night, Dolomedics. Have a good night, Cherry Ice Cream. Thank you, Dolomedics. I appreciate that. This was fun as always. Also, check out my new short. I put out a new short. I think y'all like it. I forgot to sit down and say that. We got a new series I'm actually very excited for. Called Titan Industries. A little wink to Days of Our Lives. So definitely check that out. And Johnson says, remember Friday is when B&B and Beyond the Gates will be on WLNY. Yes. Jonathan says, join us next time for another edition of Soap Chat with Dr. Bostic. Thank you, Jonathan. Yeah, it's a business drama. It's a business. It's a corporate drama. No, fuck that. It's a corporate drama. It actually has some really good scenes, so I'm very happy about it. Johnson says, join, good night, everyone, and hit the like. Yes, hit that like button because it really does help, and it keeps me in the algorithm, which is something that's very golden for any YouTuber that does YouTube. That the algorithm guys are no fucking joke. So every like really does help, and it really does support the channel. Even though I didn't really pimp out the whole membership thing, y'all can join that too. It's a lot of fun. But hitting the like button also really does help. Yeah. Point of the South, Cherry Ice Cream, and anybody else that I miss, you know who you are, and I'll sit there and see y'all on Friday stream. Laters.